Hey, what's up everyone? You're watching Goal Hanging. I'm with Scott and Michelle and we're talking about FA Cup third round results and the draw for the FA Cup fourth round.
Are we going to add a sound?
The noise came out there, I tried to go woo!
As usual, got my coffee, they got their beers. You know what that means? We're good to go. So, guys, did you watch the FA Cup this weekend?
Not all 50 odd of the games, no, but I watched some of them.
Quite a few, yeah, saw a few highlights.
A few of them. So, it started off Friday night with Arsenal's arch rival Tottenham.
Shock result for Tranmere there, wasn't it, everyone?
Yeah,
thought they were going to have it.
Tranmere were the favourites.
Yeah, they're out the running now.
Beaten 7-0 by Tottenham.
7-0, man.
So,
Not the only 7-0 either, but...
no, Man City did Rotherham 7-0, but you'd kind of expect that.
I think when you watch these things, you are hoping, obviously, being an Arsenal fan as well, obviously for Tottenham it'd be funny, but just any of the big teams, because you want the big teams to go out as early as possible,
Yeah,
which I'm sure we'll get to, but there was even that part of me thinking, you never know. That's
Come on, Travis.
7!
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
fair
mind,
play Tottenham.
I mean, you look at some of the results in it, and you know some of the non-league teams and that did actually give a really good account of themselves. Like for example, Barnet, the only non-league team left in the competition, beating Sheffield United from the Championship.
Yeah.
You know that was a massive game for them, and you know it's going to obviously generate a lot of income now for that club.
100%.
And
I
that
think
means 3 North London clubs in the hat
yeah.
for round 4.
I didn't realise Bournemouth were in it.
Oh, sorry, two plus a phony North London.
Oh, dear. You know we're going to get the Woolwich comments now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's all cliche, but the magic of the cup, I absolutely love the FA Cup. I'm glad we're covering the FA Cup on this show. And just for things like this, the fact that a non-league team, like you say, the money. I remember Crawley at Man United a few years ago, Arsenal when we went to Sutton last year. My favourite part about the FA Cup, other than the final, obviously, is...
What's the one that will be in again?
Oh, yeah. Is those little stories like that.
I think as well for a lot of the smaller teams, the fact that actually some of the bigger teams like Tottenham and City didn't go out in this round actually shows that those bigger teams are starting to take the cup a bit more seriously, because the FA Cup really lost a bit of credibility for a while.
Definitely.
And
I don't think that many teams played weak teams either. Like, fairly good lineups for all the big teams.
I mean, Liverpool didn't put out their strongest against Wolves, but
they put out a few decent.
And they
still
chucked out the big 3 towards the end. You know,
it was still like a team pretty much made up of internationals. You know, fair enough. They had a few like youngsters thrown in there, but you know, Wolves have given a good account of themselves, and you know, on the night, the right team went through.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, I think the inevitable impact of Liverpool being out of the competition and what that does for their workload towards Champions League and Premier League.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
there'll be naysayers that say it was done on purpose, but I don't think Klopp is that kind of a manager.
I had a look since Jurgen Klopp's been at Liverpool.
Yeah,
he's only ever gone out in the 3rd or 4th round. He's never gone past the 4th round of the FA Cup. So, is it basically he doesn't? To me, that strikes me as, well, he's not as well versed with the history of the FA Cup, and so he's not taking it as seriously as maybe some of the other managers would.
Like say, they throw in the big names to try and get it done in the end.
And also, I'm not being funny, like Arsenal, when we were in the Champions League, those last few seasons, we went out at very early stages, but we weren't not taking it seriously. Sometimes it is just the fact that you don't really perform on the night.
It just seems to have really, really bad luck. What's it been, 4 or 5 years with 3rd and 4th round knockouts?
I think so, yeah. And he basically blamed the wind was his excuse.
The wind.
Oh, come on, Klopp. You're not Jose Mourinho. We don't need excuses like that.
Next time it's going to be his hat's too tight on his head. He couldn't think of what.
Did you see that clip of that one of those Liverpool fan shows where they were saying that City won because they let the grass grow longer when it was City United?
Yes, I did see that.
City Liverpool even. But it sounds like those kind of tactics. I know those little things do take the make an edge and stuff like that, home advantage and whatever else. But
I suppose as well that's sometimes what works for some of the non-league teams, because Premier League players don't want to go to be playing on like plastic pitches or pitches that you're going to kick the ball and it's going to bobble.
Butcher's clothes shouting through his pucker pie. They don't want that.
Apart
from the ones that are wonder kids and always in like big team academies, most of the players in the big teams, especially international players, would have come from your regular, like we would have played as kids, just on concrete, AstroTurf pitches, like anything. So to act like at 22 you suddenly can't remember how to play on a pitch that isn't high class. The pitch thing, I don't buy it that much. I get that it does help, definitely it can help, and there's a lot of science behind it. Don't get me wrong, but blaming a result on I think a good pitch can make you better, but a bad pitch, you're still a professional football player.
But at the end of the day, the wind was the same for Wolves as it was for Liverpool. The grass was the same length for Man City.
What if it was pushing the wind, the wind was pushing the ball towards the wrong goal?
They're ridiculous excuses.
That's why you get two halves. What if the wind went the other way in the second half? Who knows?
Yeah.
Klopp might know. He felt it. I'm sure he did the old...
The wind test as he was leaping through the air, definitely.
Either way. I mean, comparing them and City as well, because you kind of got it these days.
Yeah.
But, City winning 7-0 and straight after City beating Liverpool, it's kind of a statement, isn't it?
Considering Liverpool were like undefeated and then going into this and they've had like 2 defeats on the bounce now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Wolves and Rotherham, they're not exactly the same level.
It's like slippy G time for them now.
Yeah.
And
maybe that's it. Maybe it'll be.
Who knows?
But you know what? The big clubs like City, when they do step up in the smaller cups, it actually demonstrates the depth in their squad. If you can put out a team that's not your first 11 and still comprehensively win, that says actually when De Bruyne or Aguero, whoever is injured, they've got prospects to come off the bench.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't about the Premier League, but one of the concerns with Liverpool is the depth in the squad.
Yeah.
If one of them goes down with an injury, can they sustain
Well,
the
it's like-
momentum? And City beating Rotherham 7-0, putting the kids out, showing those kids, all right, it's not the same as playing Liverpool, but they can put on a good show.
They've still got decent players to come through.
It is a statement.
The Liverpool thing did actually show because they started with Dayan Lovren at centre half, and 5 minutes in he got injured, and they had to bring a teenager off the bench. And
I think it was the third youngest Liverpool player in the FA Cup.
And then literally when you lose the self-proclaimed best defender in the world because he got to a World Cup final, Champions League final, lost both by the way.
But he's no Chiellini, sorry. But
he's basically even Virgil van Dijk is struggling to make him look good, and Van Dijk is quality.
Yeah, he is. And it really highlighted a real issue because I think Jurgen Klopp, and it came out in the press quite recently, I can't remember who was saying it actually, if I'm being honest, that actually... it was Louis van Gaal actually. Was saying that...
our old friend Louis, yeah.
You love that guy. Looks like a foot.
Won an FA Cup with
he does look like a foot. But he was saying that Man City, when they're asked to defend, don't look very good, whereas Liverpool do, and Jurgen Klopp's setting Guardiola up for a masterclass in defending. That's great. But actually, the Wolverhampton game highlighted that defensive frailty. One of them's injured. Who have they got to step into place?
I mean, I think when they're fit, their
they're
first choice centre backs are going to be Gomez and Van Dijk, and I think it's for competitions like the FA Cup, if they are going to play the younger players, I think it's like an eye opener for the managers as well, because then the managers are getting to see like what their squad's like. I think
and not just on a training pitch, actually
in a competitive game. I think in the Man United game, I think we made it was 8 changes from the weekend, and
but for teams like Man United, I know it's a strange time for them anyway, but there's so many of the players that just haven't been in form, but usually would be considered first teamers. Like Fred came with a lot of fanfare when he first showed up.
Yeah.
Alexis Sanchez obviously was a top guy at Arsenal. And things are picking up at Man United. So it's like, I think Man U and other teams like that have been quite lucky that their secondary team has still been quite good. So that's why it still looks like in the FA Cup they're playing quite strong teams.
Yeah.
Like, what stage do you guys think you need to just full steam ahead with your main team in the FA Cup? Because I think in the League Cup, it's quarters. I'd say
Well, I think for us, I mean, we're going to get onto it a bit later, but I think we'll be foolish not to go with our strongest team in the fourth round.
Depending on who you've got, I guess.
Depends on your opposition.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you've got an easier tie, like a team that's maybe a division or 2 below you, then you can put a few squad players in there.
Yeah.
Old Man United thing is if they're good enough, they're old enough. They brought on that Tae Chong, the guy with a big, massive hair, and he's meant to be one of the best youth prospects at United. He played him there. I think he's played Mourinho. I think played him in a Champions League game as well. So it's showing that
Mourinho played youth.
He played one youth player.
He'd probably just fallen out with everyone else.
He's like, oh right, who have I not had a row with this? Oh,
you do. Yeah.
We've never spoke.
Or he's like,
there's absolutely no chance we're falling out.
Or he's like, oh wait, you look a bit like Fellaini. I like you.
Oh God, he loved it, didn't he?
So yeah, talking about Man United, I just wanted to go into the Man United game quickly. The Man United Reading game, which was the use of VAR in that game. Now, it wasn't used in every single game across the FA Cup weekend,
which is a problem.
Which was strange. Yeah. It's like
I thought that was the whole point of why they were waiting to bring it to certain.
I mean, it's like goal line technology. The Man City versus Burton Albion game at Burton will be the first time that I think it's the first time goal line technology is going to be used outside of Wembley or the Premier League. In England.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I
guess because
I'm not sure. I think VAR. I'm not. Don't quote me on this, but VAR.
We will. Yeah, regularly.
It might be VAR as well, but I know they definitely said it's the first time that goal line technology is going to be used at a ground that's not. You know, to me, I just think if it's installed at the ground, just use it. Like for example, if you're getting like Stoke v Swansea, they've got it installed there. Just use it.
Yeah. I think so.
But yeah, so the VAR. I mean, I don't know if you actually saw the penalty decision.
Was this? Is this the Burnley game?
The Man United, Man United game. So basically, United's first goal, Matta's through on goal, gets fouled in the box, but the ball runs through to Fred, who puts it in the goal. Fred's offside, so the linesman's flag goes up to say he's offside. So it's no goal. Referees then got the word.
Great work goal if it would have stood.
Yeah.
It was
a brilliant build up.
Sanchez did a great cross.
It was Man United of old, the build up.
It was very good. And then
and a great
offside.
Even as a United fan, it was a great call from the linesman.
So he was offside.
He was offside
at the same time.
But the foul happened as Matta was playing the ball to him. Matta was fouled.
So got the pen.
So what happens was...
So the whistle they thought was for the offside, but it was actually for the penalty.
No.
Basically, whistle was for the offside.
What happens was, the linesman's flag went up. So it's not given as a goal. It's offside.
You there, Fred, you're off, mate.
But the referee then gets word in his ear of, in the build-up to that, you might want to have a look at the possible penalty decision.
Okay.
So now we've got the situation where the goal's not been given because it's offside, but then the referee's pulling it back
to review a penalty.
To review for a possible penalty, which ultimately was given, and that's how United took the lead. But
could they not have just let that goal stand through playing advantage?
Exactly. Or the fact that it was,
it would have been offside.
And the fact that it took 2 minutes for them for somebody literally to look at it and go, yeah, he's fouled him. It's like...
My favourite with the VAR is when there's like literally a squad of them in a room and it takes about 10 people to watch the same thing to go...
It's like a jury, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess they've got to get a majority vote.
I mean, surely it's... you're looking at the decision. Has he fouled him? Yes. Okay, it's a penalty.
I mean, I didn't see how it went down because I did see it in highlights. I didn't see the 2 minute gap or anything like that. But like, and I'm not trying to accuse anyone. But if you just hear it like that, it sounds like it could have been. It probably isn't. Don't get me wrong. But like they had to give the offside, and they almost looked for a chance. It probably is. I'm not saying it is, but it looks suspicious. Like they looked for a chance to give Man United something. Like they weren't sure. I don't know. It probably wasn't because I didn't see it.
Man United getting penalties at Old Trafford.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this is why I'm never because I'm like well, not these days. But back in the day, if this was on
6 minutes added time,
if this was under Ferguson, I wouldn't even question it. I would say, yeah, you know what, pressure. He's gonna get an earful for that offside decision. So he said there was a penalty because
it's like when Sol Campbell wiped out Wayne Rooney in the box. When Rooney was channeling his inner Tom Daly.
Oh, was that the end of the unbeaten streak one?
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up.
Mate, why did you do that, man?
But yeah, just the thing of like the whole 2 minute thing was just ridiculous to make a decision.
Disrupts the flow of play and it's not good, is it?
For a fan in the ground, how frustrating must it be? Because like Old Trafford is a ground that has not got screens up. I know most football grounds now have got screens in there, but it literally comes up on the scoreboard, VAR, decision in progress, possible penalty or something. And it's like, you're sitting there and like, there's no, all you got is a referee just standing there like that. It's not as if like he's doing all this.
They're not doing the replays and stuff.
You probably see, you probably go online, you probably see it quicker than you'll find out.
Yeah, whereas I know
like what's going on at least.
Is that because you're 4G?
In some leagues as well, you'll see like the referees will go over to the side of the pitch, look at a screen, come back. Yeah,
there needs to be more. If it's going to take long, there just it needs to be clarity.
Yeah, but does he not look at a screen? Other people watching it.
Basically, yeah. So what happens is the other officials are elsewhere, but the thing is they won't say to the referee there has like it's a penalty. They'll then talk the referee through what's happened, and then it's still the on-field official still has the final.
Then surely he should just watch it.
Yeah.
So he didn't see it.
He should just bloody watch it on the screen.
He didn't see it.
No,
he didn't see it.
He's
just advised.
The incident.
So it was like imagine.
So the incident is he's offside. That's the decision that the on-field officials have given. But then John Moss, who was the VAR guy,
that explains a lot.
Literally said to him, like, go back, because they're obviously watching the game on multi-cameras.
Was fouled.
He's like, right, Matt has fouled in the build-up to this as the ball went through to Fred, so before he's actually played it to him.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So technically...
he was impeded in a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But I think what's taken the 2 minutes was the fact of they're probably debating as to was the defender the last man.
They almost like narrate it. Like, say you were the ref on the field and we were in the VAR room, you wouldn't be able to see it, but we'd be going, okay, so now he's running up to him and he's just put his left foot in front of Mata, and would it be like that?
I
mean, it's so confusing.
Seen it. Like, I think if the ref's going to make this final decision, I understand. Even in a regular kind of decision, the linesman has power, so the linesman will explain what's going on and stuff like that. That's all fair enough. But I think if it's a penalty decision and a final thing should be coming down to the ref, and therefore the ref needs to see it.
He needs to see it.
Like, advice is great, but he needs to see it.
They saw it, and
I think the ref needs to see it. He should have everybody's advice, but he needs to see it to make a decision that big.
Yeah.
That he is ultimately going to be held to account for. It goes in the match report.
Or ain't hard to get an iPad and just.
They've all got Apple Watches and stuff. They could probably flash it up on that.
Or what they should, I think what they actually do need to do with the VAR stuff is do it like rugby. Like mic the refs up, so then you can hear the conversation.
God, I would love to hear Andre Marriner mic'd up. Oh, the things I bet he says on the pitch.
They either mic them up, or you just take the decision out of the referee's hand and just have it come up on the screen, like try it in rugby.
I think the thing
so it's
we're
like
going to
pen,
have is,
no pen.
Yeah, if we're really going for it with the VAR, which it looks like we are, it's got to be clear and it's got to be consistent across everywhere.
I think that's what everyone's asked. They're not saying that they want the referees to get the decisions right 100% of the time. It's just be consistent.
Yeah, and I think like you mentioned earlier, it is a bit bizarre that they only used it in a few games over the weekend.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Surely use it for everyone.
There was a decision in, I think it was in the Arsenal Blackpool game, and they said, they could have got VAR to review that, but VAR's not in action in this game.
See,
so
at that point, I thought there was no VAR just in this round or something, because when I was watching that game,
it's in the it was in the Burnley game as well,
it's and controversial there.
It was the same kind of thing. Like it was a penalty was given, but then as the guy's running up to take the penalty, literally taking a couple of steps for his run up, the referee blows the whistle, puts his hand up. Oh, it was offside.
What?
So he's given a pen.
So essentially, he's given a penalty. VAR have said no. Actually, the correct decision to give is offside.
Did that happen before the foul then? Because surely you just go for the first decision. That should be. So I guess that's.
Yeah. So I think it was offside as he went through.
That would suck though, man.
Yeah. But literally, it wasn't even like
you're about to get a goal scoring opportunity. Well, you're about to get something out of that play. And pretty much.
But the thing is, he's put the ball down. He's put the ball down. He's started his run up.
Yeah, see, they need to decide on when you can take this stuff back as well.
Yeah.
I think once the ref's blown the whistle for the run up for the penalty, you can't revoke it.
And I think
as well, that's too much.
The only thing that I was thankful for in that United game was that Pogba wasn't taking the penalty. We literally would still be here waiting for him to run up to it.
He'd probably get a haircut in between or something.
Yeah.
But he did it right in that game though, 2-1.
A couple of other shock results from fourth round.
Good batch of them.
We've got Oldham dumping out Fulham at Fulham. They've not been that good though, to be fair.
They're still in the Premier League.
And they have picked up a little bit under Ranieri.
Yeah.
Who I would have thought takes the FA Cup quite seriously.
Dilly ding, dilly dong and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, he loves a bit of that.
Bristol City knocking out Huddersfield.
Yeah, no, Huddersfield have been absolutely
to be fair, it's like if you look at league position, there's probably only like a few positions between them, but Bristol City, they're playing well.
It is form, like you say. If they're at the bottom of that league and they're at the top of the league below, then
It's not much of a,
you're
of a difference.
Yeah, and you're basically in some ways better than them because you're in form, because they're the ones that are scrapping it at the bottom, stressing out about the league, and you're flying high, thinking, well, today's a bonus. If we do this, we're going on to something else.
You get a trophy as well as
yeah. And you get Europa League football as well, win the FA Cup.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And you get to play in the Community Shield, which is pointless unless Man United win it. And then it becomes part of a treble.
A valid piece of silverware.
A meaningless pre-season friendly that turns into part of a treble if you.
I've always liked the Community Shield though.
I quite like it. It's a good laugh.
Yeah, it's good.
Also,
it's
quite cheap. So
apparently as well, that was the reason that Tammy Abraham is actually eligible to play for Wolves, because you're not allowed to play for 3 clubs in the same season. He played for Chelsea in the Community Shield, but because the FA only see it as a pre-season friendly, technically he's only played then for 1 club this season, which is Aston Villa. So he is eligible to play for Wolves.
Oh, good Aston Villa.
So there we go.
So what is it, 3 English teams or 3 Premier League teams you can't
I think just 3 teams in general in 1 season. So, on the subject of like talking about FA Cup stuff, we actually saw a return in the FA Cup of a former Arsenal player as well, Samir Nasri.
He is. He's back for West Ham.
Playing for West Ham.
Week.
Bit of shock signing.
You could also get a lot of blonde highlights. He also quite likes those.
He still wearing that little snood thing.
He thinks he's Phil Neville in 1992. I don't know what's going on.
Just wait till he starts giving away penalties.
Do this a lot.
He was a decent player when he was at Arsenal. He did alright. Yeah, I really liked him when he was at Arsenal. Arsenal was the next big thing. I'm sure a lot of Arsenal.
He was ace, but then he actually his first season or 2 at City he was quite solid, but then he just sort of plateaued, didn't he? Yeah.
He's one of these players where if he's motivated, he's brilliant.
West Ham are making like the craziest signs the past few years. Every time they sign someone, I'm like, this is going to lift them. Because of that year, the last year at the Berlin ground, and they did, they finished quite, was it 5th they finished?
Yeah, destroying our team bus in their last game.
And obviously Payet and all that kind of stuff. And he left. But then, I know it didn't work out, but this is the point. Joe Hart, Zabaleta, Chicharito, Jack Wilshere, those are the signs they made the past. Lucas Perez,
like it's just Arsenal's cast.
They should, but they should be doing. I mean, they are doing better now. But
they are.
Pascal Sigon's going to sign for him.
Last year was a whole different thing. But yeah, I think this year's worked out a little bit better for them. But yeah, they're making some good signings, man.
Oleg Lushny,
I love that guy. The thing is, you can make all the good signings in the world if they don't work well together. And I think when Man City first came into all of their money, and then they were making a lot of crazy signings, and it wasn't quite working for them. And actually,
they bought in Rebellious.
Too much money and too many egos don't work. Oh God, yeah. And I think it is good to invest in your squad and get these players, some of which with quite significant experience. But if someone like Samir Nasri is going to come in and be the big I am, that could upset a balance that Pellegrini's working quite hard on at the moment.
I mean, it's like a Pogba as well. It's like you're paying 90 million for a player. You expect him, the least you expect is for him to give 100% each week. Whether you like the manager or not.
Do you know what?
Give 100%.
I'm going to be really controversial and say that I think he's a great footballer, but I think he's a very dangerous man to have in your team, because he's willing to jeopardise his career, their club, etc., just because he didn't like one man. Yeah. Which says he's got no loyalty to Man United. He chooses
he's left us once already.
Yeah, he chooses when he's going to switch it on and off. And now he's in a position where if Man United don't continue to pander to him, and we're getting into one man bigger than the team. We're getting into Alexis Sanchez territory when he was at Arsenal. Actually,
I think the Mourinho thing was. I think Mourinho fans used the Pogba thing as an excuse for Mourinho's failure, and I think Pogba wasn't, was a problem, but I think. It was kind of used as a thing to
don't get me wrong, Mourinho managed him terribly. I mean, look at the way he plays for Deschamps versus how he played for Mourinho. Like, Mourinho had everything that was coming to him, but I, as a fan, would be questioning his loyalty to my club. Because as a footballer, you want to play for yourself, your family, your friends, your fans and your team. That they should be your priority.
It was the most,
but like you say, leaving already, it's not like he come back because he loved and missed the team. When you see players go back to their former teams, like Wayne Rooney going back to Everton and stuff like that, boyhood team.
Yeah,
he came back because the money came in for him. Which is always makes me laugh how little you sold him. And she brought him back
It's such a rip-off, wasn't it?
Especially with the performances at the moment. But
he's on the up.
They should have put a buyback clause in that.
Who United? Yeah, of course.
I mean, he is on the up under Solskjaer.
It's been
He
a
is on
story.
the up. You know what he will be like under Pochettino next season. Because let's face it, we all know that's a done deal.
Apparently, the players have come out and said that they actually want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to take
3-4 games, though, isn't it?
But apparently, he's got
beat those
like, a really
heavyweights,
nice
Cardiff.
atmosphere. Yeah, we've beaten Huddersfield. Get in.
Yes. Hang on, did we beat Huddersfield? I can't remember. Okay,
I don't know. But yeah, so 2 more games that were actually shock results was Barnet.
Good old Barnet.
North London's finest. Barnet beating Sheffield United.
Excuse me, Barnet's slightly more Hertfordshire. We speak more like this rather than like this.
Okay. Hertfordshire's finest. There we go.
There we go. Hertfordshire's finest.
And probably the big one was Newport County beating Leicester.
Yeah.
2016 Premier League champions Leicester,
And
I'll have you know.
The thing is, this competition, as it will for most of the teams mentioned, obviously, would have been a very, very good chance for Leicester to, spike themselves back up, because this is the kind of competition where if you're in that kind of 3rd to 6th, 3rd to 8th, this will boost you that little bit up.
Upper mid-table.
Like this is what you need to kind of tide the fans over with some silverware, get that winning taste back and stuff like that. So this would have been a big blow for Leicester. Like, it's a big blow for anyone going to the FA Cup. I really do think it is. But for a team like Leicester, I think this competition is most important for teams in that kind of position.
I mean, what you're saying is right. As an Arsenal fan, I'd happily take the FA Cup again this year. And actually, it's
love the FA Cup.
I know we'll get on to United and Arsenal later, but I foresee them both putting out full first 11s.
And the thing is, if I wouldn't want Man United and Arsenal to put anything other than their strongest teams out, because it's Man United Arsenal,
and it's also
you want that big game feel.
Realistically a trophy both teams could
we're
win.
both
Neither of us is going to win the Premier League.
It shows everybody else, like, look, we're 2 of the biggest clubs in the country and we are taking this competition seriously. To be fair, like, who wants to see Mason Greenwood versus, I don't know, Eddie, whatever his name.
Nketiah.
Eddie Nketiah. Eddie.
You don't want to know what you're talking about.
So anyway, moving on now to the 4th round of the FA Cup. It threw up some tasty draws.
Oh my god, I was watching that draw.
Could have been even tastier.
I mean, it got down to 4 balls left.
Too much nerves.
The last 4.
I was practically sobbing
Arsenal,
watching it.
Man United, Tottenham, Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You guys must have been bricking it, thinking, "Oh my days, have we got to have the homeless guys round again?"
Yeah, it would have been as well, because we were. Yeah, it's home draw for us.
Because if we'd have drawn them at Wembley, though, we would have absolutely thumped them, because we always play for
That's our second ground, isn't it?
Yeah, because their new ground wouldn't have been open by then, would it?
I don't know.
I don't think they'll be eligible to play. I don't think they're allowed.
Well, apparently they're.
I think they pretty much spend the rest of the season at Wembley.
They were saying that they wanted to have the North London derby as the first game there if they can get it open in time, but the police have turned round and said no because it's too much of a high risk game.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that being the first.
So I think they wanted to win their first game.
So I live almost equidistant between White Hart Lane and the Emirates.
Yeah.
And in August, we got loads of stuff for our front doors about the new Tottenham ground and the first build game was September the 20th against Liverpool. They genuinely thought this was going to happen. There's all these new parking restrictions in place.
Did they tell you to clean up the streets as well around?
Excuse me, I live in quite a nice bit of Haringey.
Apparently, they've been told that the area around...
Oh, some bits of it are an absolute dive, mostly that end of it.
Yeah, but have you seen how they pull their points?
Yeah, where they literally just put them on like that.
Got a nice little light show going on,
Well,
the builders
here we are.
looting them again.
Here we are, well past Christmas, and they are nowhere near moving into that ground. And I know there are rules from the FA around how many grounds you're allowed to use in certain competitions and so on.
And especially like you've got Europa, the Champions League as well, which apparently it's the only place in London you can watch the Champions League. I've seen it at Wembley, so I've seen them play at Wembley, but not yet there. And I'm going to get onto that on my next episode, is the Champions League one. So a couple more ties that I'm just going to pick out. West Ham Wimbledon. That's one from
Do
the
you know what?
olden days.
I think that
At
Wimbledon
Wimbledon as well.
Wimbledon could do West Ham. I like
Yeah.
West Ham and they're on the up, but they are inconsistent. And Wimbledon have got a bit of fight about them.
Absolutely love the Wimbledon story. You know, just
Yeah, the Wimbledon.
the decline that they've had since they were, just that they had their heart ripped out of them and they had to make their own new team. MK Dons have now said, yeah, you are the original. You can keep the title history and all that kind of stuff. And you got to remember they're an FA Cup team. If you're going back on their lineage,
the old
now,
crazy gang, yeah,
the crazy gang. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You know, as a neutral and 2 London teams.
I think it's going to be good. I think Wimbledon could do it. I really do.
That would be exciting because it will. It's that next step for Wimbledon to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. Yeah. So even if I don't think Wimbledon are going to win the FA Cup,
no.
But if they could knock out a Premier League London rival for the first time, I imagine it's the first time they faced them with this incarnation of Wimbledon.
With this incarnation.
It's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be really exciting.
Another one's Millwall versus Everton.
Millwall manager said he wanted West Ham actually, didn't he? So
yeah, Neil Harris, yeah. And to be fair, I mean that's another potential banana skinner as well.
I think so
reckon.
because Millwall were tough and Everton.
No one likes going to Millwall.
And they are climbing and climbing as well. Past few years.
It's not nice to go to. But the thing with Everton is, in theory, on paper, Everton should be favourites. And Everton, I think, have been a bit unlucky this season. They've actually played really well.
I know a team that made
and
fairly
been a bit
decent signings
unfortunate
past
with
Some of it's
results.
been like individual errors as well. It's not been like the way the team have been
But then
playing.
just stuff like, again, like the Everton Liverpool game earlier this season, actually, Everton should have come out of that with at least a point. And I think Everton have been a bit unlucky results, but Millwall were going to put up a fight. And, you know, it's an intimidating
on the pitch or off the pitch?
A bit of both, column B. But Millwall were potential upset. I think Everton will do it, but it will be tough. It will be really tough.
Versus Scousers outside the ground. Bit tasty that one.
Lock up your houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Or your office.
Oh yeah.
Newport got their reward. Away trip to Middlesbrough. I was secretly, when it came out, I was hoping that they would get Swansea, which would have been a really nice, type.
Who has Swansea got?
Gillingham in the next round, so
It would have been nice to see a nice Welsh clash.
yeah, it would have been.
Swansalona.
Swansalona.
Remember when they were decent with Michu?
Michu.
What was that thing you used to do?
No, was it that? Something like
I
that.
feel like it's a Bollywood dance.
Maybe it's...
Maybe, yeah, maybe he was a big fan.
Yeah. Wind turbines, big fan.
Oh dear God.
Could have done that on the Millwall bit.
I know.
Yeah.
Barnet's reward for their heroics, they get Brentford.
Again, I think Brentford should be favourites, but Barnet are gonna
Going to Barnet as well. Barnet with home advantage, they could well do that. Man City, Burnley. You should see City coast through there.
You should.
Depending on what's going on in the league at the time.
It depends as well. You know, City could still be in the Champions League at that point.
Yeah.
The FA Cup.
And if
they could have
year's
the capital Carabao Cup as well. They're
You
still
nearly
in.
called it the Capital One Cup then, didn't you?
I nearly called it the Coca-Cola Cup.
Listen, mate, it's still the Milk Cup at my age.
Yeah, Milk Cup, yeah. I preferred that one year when it had no thing. It was the EFL Cup, English Football League. That's it. That's fine for me. I don't like calling it.
The Worthington Cup. Remember
the Worthington Cup.
Everyone used
the Littlewoods Cup.
The Littlewoods FA Cup as well. They had at one point.
Yeah, they did.
The AXA sponsored FA Cup.
Well, on this show, we'll call it the League Cup.
So the EFL, the English Football League Cup, Man City are still in, playing against Burton Albion. And then the final 2 fixtures that came out were Crystal Palace at home to Tottenham, that's going to be a good game. That's
Selhurst Park is a tough place to go, and you know,
I tell you what, we are actually in this 4th round. We are losing some big Premier League teams.
Yeah.
There's some strong Premier League
makes
teams.
the other big teams have a real chance.
You know, and especially when you get the bigger teams like drawing each other, like the Man United Arsenal obviously is a standout tie there. You know, that's pretty much one big name that's going out in the competition.
I think with Palace as well. I mean, Tottenham are going to be really gunning for the Premier League. Palace are pretty much safe.
Yeah.
I think.
Don't get me wrong, Hodgson's done superb there.
Oh, I love Roy. I love Roy. He's
has
organised.
steadied the ship so much.
Roy has steadied the ship. You know, they're looking safe. Tottenham, you know, again, Pochettino came out last year and said that he felt the only things worth playing for were the Champions League and Premier League. Whether he has changed his mind.
He's got the same dilemma as
Tottenham. Not to just be the Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
But that time, it's just not happening.
He's got the same dilemma as Man City as well, though, because they're still in all all 4 competitions.
Yeah, I think with Tottenham, and again, I'm not saying this to be like I'm only Arsenal fan. I think initially they need to set their sights a little bit lower, something like the League Cup or the FA Cup, something a bit more realistic. Get the silverware, and then build your momentum. I think outright writing off those competitions from the get go was not a great move, and I'm really hoping Pochettino's changed his mind on that. I really hope he puts out a full first 11 against Palace.
I mean, I think
I think Palace are going to give him a bloody good fight, actually.
It will be a very good game. I think, though, for Tottenham, I mean, if I was Tottenham manager, I would focus on winning something, because then you can imagine next season you're in your shiny new stadium.
If he's leaving, does he
got,
really
there you
need
go.
that stepping stone?
There's a nice trophy.
Yeah.
You know, there's a trophy. Thanks a lot. I'm going to go to Man United and
if he's
play
leaving,
for 6th place
But
this
then
season.
again, we're talking about a team who, and again, I think I've said it on previous podcasts, I think the Tottenham first 11 are very, very strong on paper, but where's the depth if one of them gets injured? Son's about to go off to the Asia Games, isn't he?
Something like
Rumour
that.
is Llorente's up for sale.
Harry Kane gets
If Kane
injured,
gets injured, they've got no one. Yeah, and actually I do think something like the FA Cup is something
They
they
need to
need
buy a
to be a
striker.
bit more realistic.
Yeah, they need to buy a striker.
Levy's not going to put his hand in his pocket. They've got that stadium to pay off. They've got what we had for the last decade through building the Emirates. They do.
Yeah. But then it's like, are they going to be as patient with Pochettino to let him build the team if he stays?
He's been there quite some time now and no silverware to show. Questions are going to be asked of him and of Klopp, actually, after this season with no trophies.
Depends though, because the media don't seem to ask questions of those two. But
it's because the smaller teams they don't focus on them that much. Talking of big teams now, Man United and Arsenal.
Oh right, okay. Can I just say,
basically
things might be different.
If we got this draw a month ago or whatever, but in the Mourinho days, I would be absolutely relishing it. Be like, bring it on. But now, Solskjaer's, there's some momentum. The only thing that I think goes in our favour is that it is at the Emirates.
Yeah, as you're saying, Arsenal potentially could have the slight advantage because it's being at the Emirates.
For me, I feel a lot of it lies in defensively where we're at with injuries. It really does, because you know what? Now, I really love Socrates. I do. I think he's fantastic, but he is slow. He's muscle, but he's not technical. And unless Sokratis. Oh no, we just call it Papa. But if we can't bring in a quick technical defender to work alongside him, Koscielny, look, he's going to have to be rested for ages if he's going to play against Sanchez and Pogba.
Yeah.
He is.
Well, I mean, you've got to remember as well, so they could either go, United will either go with Lukaku, who's got the physicality that Arsenal defences over the years have not necessarily liked.
I think Papa will be okay with him, though.
I think
they're about as quick as each other. So
and then physically, we've really stepped up in the past year, though. Like, they're like,
it's basically like a fridge versus a washing machine.
Fighting for each other. Like you see the Tottenham game, and it was nearly coming to blows. You know, some people. That's what I don't like about commentators going, "Oh no, we don't want to see that in a game." That's exactly what
we want to see in a game.
Exactly what I mean.
How good was it, Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira? That's the kind of stuff you want back.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you don't want it to cross the line and
I mean, I think
escalate
Arsenal,
into violence, but showing passion,
Arsenal are much more passionate, and I think they're not afraid to be physical. But my worry is, nice physical defender needs someone quick next to him. And actually, the Koscielny 3 or 4 years ago would have been a perfect match, but the current Koscielny is not. We're missing Bellerin big time.
Yeah, because he adds that injection of pace, and I think I would like to have seen Bellerin and Rashford on that side. You know, if he's playing Rashford off the left, or Pogba. To be fair, Pogba's been playing off the left.
Bellerin may be fit for that. I'm not sure on his return date.
It's potential. I think, when is it? Middle of February, end of Jan,
he could be back.
End of January, possibly.
I think it's like their weekend on 25th, 6th, 7th.
My one that I'm looking forward to, I am looking forward to Socrates giving Sanchez a bit of a mouthful. I think it's going to be fantastic to watch.
That's if Sanchez plays, though.
I wonder if
since he left, we've not really clashed with him, have we?
No, he's been injured. He's not come back to play. He's not come back to play the Emirates.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting. I mean, honestly, it is the draw. As much as like earlier episodes of Goal Hanging, we were kind of like saying what is going on with Man United. Since Solskjaer's come in, it has changed
quite significantly.
So when I saw the draw, I did kind of panic. Think, oh no, not Man United. I would have preferred out of the other big teams, Tottenham, because I do think on the day we'll be gunning for it and stuff like that. And I do think we'll put out a good team against Man United and stuff like that. But I do think they are the biggest, obviously, and City would have been as well, the biggest threats to face. Because I think you guys are in a good position right now. I don't think the Solskjaer thing is going to work out that well. I think it all just, everything's changed, everything's fresh. You kind of getting your swagger back. Yeah, so I do. If we face you guys in April, I think we'd have a better chance. I don't think we have a bad chance, but I do think you guys have a better chance than you would have a month ago or in 2 months that I think you will, because I think you guys will start dipping again, and that's just because those same problems are going to start to come up again, because I don't think it was just Mourinho, but I think Solskjaer's getting more out of you guys than Mourinho was, and then next year is basically he's got to get, obviously that's what his job is, to get you to the next season, and then you guys can recruit and
this is a bit of a damage control job.
Exactly, yeah. And I think you guys are all on the high, and rightly so. You know, you're winning games and you're playing like the Man United of old because your style's changed and you're not playing boring football anymore. I'm sure you're enjoying that. So I'm excited for the game, but the only worry I have is that I would have preferred to face you a month ago or in 2 months, because I think you'll start to dip again. But I think you got a good chance. But anyone on their day, you know.
Avoiding City's always good. Avoiding Chelsea's always useful as well, I find.
Been nemesis.
Avoiding Chelsea.
Like you say,
and they traditionally do quite well in the
FA Cup. They do quite well in the
and
FA Cup indeed.
A lot of what I've noticed as well with Chelsea and with City is they do seem to sometimes get slightly favourable home ties, whereas...
You have seen this controversy about the Man City Burton game, haven't you? About the fact that Craig Bellamy said something on air after a game about, when Man City faced Burton, everyone's like, what, the draw's tomorrow? And then lo and behold, the draw happened,
that was dodgy,
and City got Burton, and it's all been sort of hushed up a bit, so... You know.
Well, when Pep was at Barca, they were known as UEFA Lona.
Yeah, that's a bit dodgy. I mean...
It's amazing what
you'd like to think that's not going on, but when you trace it all the way back to the World Cup in Qatar, and you know, like it seems like every level of football is.
Well, you've heard about all the Man City investigations over
financial fair play and all that
and the thing about which manager is it? It was apparently manager had another made-up post so they could pay him 2 salaries.
They've done the same with sponsorship deals, haven't they? They pretended loads of stuff. There's some great videos online about it.
Well, very controversial.
But yeah, you'd like to think that's not going on, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
There's a high chance that there is some shenanigans.
Indeed. We're going to wrap it up here, but as you know, we always wrap up with me giving you guys a question. As usual, it's a multiple choice question, so there are options.
Okay, I need
it. This is the bonus pint round.
It's for the bonus drink,
I need it, so.
Now.
You're doing alright.
I'm taking it easy. You're taking it easy today.
As I am joined by 2 Arsenal fans, and Arsenal have won the most FA Cups, it's only fitting, it's only fitting that this question should be all about Arsenal FC and the FA Cup.
Oh, nice.
Oh, lovely.
So, as you know, being Arsenal fans, Arsenal have the most FA Cup wins with 13. But what I want to know is how many different teams have they beaten in the final? Is it 8, 9, 10 or 11?
Oh, we've got 4 choices.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Hang on, just going to do a mental counter.
So basically, if they've played a team twice, that counts as one team.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11.
8, 9, 10 or 11.
Okay, right, so...
Okay, I think I know.
Hold on.
Do you get more points if we can name the teams we're beating as well?
She's confident.
I can remember last time I shouted Ray Parlour.
I can name all
probably a lot for most of them. I'll give you a clue, it's between 8 and 11.
I know at least a certain amount. I just realised. Hold on. Are we going first with what we're picking then? Have you got an answer?
I've got an answer.
Well, we're going to have to say it first then, aren't we?
Okay.
Have you got an answer?
I've got an answer.
So.
It's just how many?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
How many different teams?
I think it's 9.
I think it's 8. Because I can remember 7.
You is both wrong.
No! 10?
It's 10.
Hang on, right. I know we beat Chelsea.
So what happens? Who wins then?
Chelsea,
Neither of you
Liverpool.
win.
I guess Michelle
Chelsea,
can win
Liverpool,
because she,
United, Villa, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Hull, Huddersfield, And there's one more.
Right, so I'll go through them
I didn't
Okay.
go, I
in
didn't
order
do
as well.
Sheffield's. Huddersfield's first.
So Huddersfield,
Yeah.
Sheffield United, Liverpool twice,
Yeah.
Man United twice, Sheffield Wednesday,
Yeah.
Newcastle,
That was, yeah.
97, 98, Chelsea twice, Southampton,
Oh,
Hull, Aston Villa.
I missed. Oh.
I can do the years.
I got most of the team.
Done pretty well with that, yeah.
Alright. Well, I guess Michelle can win because she was one closer
Okay,
to me.
so alright, well then what we'll do is I'll give you another question.
Oh, God.
Okay, alright. I was going to give it to you.
And see,
I was
see,
gonna
see
give
if
it
you
to you.
can get it.
Go on.
So,
Just can't let me win, man.
we know Arsenal have won. So obviously Arsenal have won 13 FA Cups. How many have they lost in the final?
How many fines have we got?
6, 7, 8 or 9? You've won 13, but how many have you lost?
I'm going to go 6.
I'm going to go 7.
7.
Yeah!
Come on, I was close the first time, then you got to win the
I
next
got it,
round.
I got it.
So you get half a point each.
I held this up at the Lion
That
King
was
as well.
a banging question. So yeah, there you have it. Scott was the one who guessed the second question correctly, as
getting good
neither
at
of them
this.
actually managed to get the first one. Call themselves
I
fans,
tried
eh?
to be gentleman.
I could name
tried.
most of the teams.
You can. I can
We're
name
alive
the,
for
I can
most of
name
them.
the years. You know.
Yeah, I was alive for most of them. I remember that. Milk Cup, remember that?
Charlie George and all that.
Charlie George.
I
What a
remember
goal.
Charlie George.
Your mate, isn't
He
he?
is my mate.
So yeah, Scott won, so he gets his pint.
Thank you. I will give you something.
I'm alright, I'm on gluten-free stuff.
As usual, check out Rebellious Noise, check out Goal Hanging. You can get everything at revnoise.com. Don't forget, check us out on YouTube at Rev Noise. Subscribe, follow, whatever it is you do. Like,
Share.
thumbs up, share,
Comment.
Nice things.
and you'll get the next episode as well, which, well, it's going to be about the Champions League. The group stages have happened, and so then we're moving on now to the knockout stage of the Champions League. We're going to be talking about who we think is going to win the Champions League, who's going to come out of each knockout game, and the draw in general. Thanks for Goal Hanging.